But we are kind of unironically supporting Caitlyn Jenner on this show. I like Caitlyn. I think she's an example of true diversity in a country that claims to want it and does not. We do not want diversity. We want young, good-looking, ethnically diverse, but usually ethnically ambiguous people that all have the same life experiences, views, thoughts. We like mediocrity. We do not like greatness. And Caitlyn, say what you will, is an example of greatness. Decathlete, Olympian. How many gold medals do we know?
Let me see.
I mean, a woman who has truly lived many lives. And she's what the state of California needs.
Yeah, and 76 for the decathlon. Won the gold medal.
Yes.
It's amazing.
She's a denizen of the country club. She's a denizen of she likes diversity the way a lot of people of her generation like it. They like seeing it on TV. They don't want it too close. They, she doesn't really love the homeless. She wants them gone. She's a country club trans person who murdered 2 people in a car and acts like it doesn't happen. She's just heading down to PCH 100 miles an hour, remembering the good times, remembering people putting gold medals around her neck. Before she was subjugated to a tertiary role in that family of Armenians that lived in Calabasas, Caitlyn strutted around that house like a nobody, like a nothing, like an afterthought, while everyone else engaged in feuds and scandals. Caitlyn just kind of played it close to the vest, very quietly, would go out and golf, offer a few words of wisdom when asked, but rarely asked. Caitlyn was really an afterthought on that show, but all the while, Caitlyn was sitting there going, I am cooking up a way to come back big, big. And Caitlyn had known for a while that Caitlyn, who was known at that time as, we will say like Voldemort, the name that cannot be mentioned because it will be dead naming and we will be kicked off. But Caitlyn, there was another iteration of Caitlyn bouncing around. And Caitlyn knew that wouldn't do. She said, I've always felt like Caitlyn. But I don't want to change who I am. I don't want to not be rich. And I don't want to not be, a person that likes law and order and money and country clubs. She likes that. And why shouldn't she? She's good at things, right? Caitlyn does things very well. So she likes people who also do things very well. Yes, she's a bit insensitive. Yes, the only Mexican people she's spoken to are giving her guacamole. I understand that. I understand that maybe she's a little culturally unhip, if you will. Caitlyn spent a little too long on the golf course, a little too much time in Calabasas, doesn't really regard diversity as anything else other than like a quinceañera on a Malibu beach that's getting a little too loud. But Caitlyn's important. This is an important figure in America. We need more trans people that come from this background. We don't need more trans nerds, do we? Do we need more Tumblr trans people? I don't think so. It's like we don't need more gays that are wearing leather and pink thongs doing cartwheels down the street. We need more gays like me, people who look like they work on the docks, people who look like they're a crooked cop or they have a gambling addiction, people like me. We need more of us. We get it. We get that gays, some of them are very fashionable, and white women like to keep them in their purse and take them out so that they can chirp at them while they get hammered in Orange County. We understand that and we know that gays are very talented, and many of them are in theater, and there are quite a few of them as flight attendants telling you to put your mask over your nose, Clearly not a dream job, but you can junk up. You can do a lot of drugs and then fuck people in the different places you land and then get out of there. It's not the worst job for a gay, but we just don't need more of them in the public eye because we get it. In the same way, we don't need more Tumblr trans people. We don't need more people who've lived their entire lives in a computer. We don't need more trans people that really like anime. What we need is a country club trans bitch that's not taking any shit. We need somebody to pull up in a Bentley and get out in a Christian Louboutin, and walk into a restaurant and sit down, and if she spies a tent on her way in, she's unhappy. That's what we need. Am I wrong? I am not wrong. Yes or yes. If trans people are to represent the fullness of human experience as they should, why in God's name wouldn't we have a wealthy trans Olympian who's a bit out of touch? A little Lucille Bluth in her. She doesn't really tolerate too much self-pity. She doesn't like it. You can tell that Caitlyn Jenner's a tough bitch. She is. She doesn't really tolerate you if you're going to, she doesn't like the whimpering. Oh, I don't have money. Oh, I was just in the middle lane on the PCH. Any of those things. She doesn't like it. It doesn't matter because she's got somewhere she wants to go. And it's usually a 12,000 square foot, beautiful desert home. And I am supporting her because I, unlike everyone else, care about diversity, and it would greatly help trans people. I had a joke when I first started comedy. We need more gay people in gangs. We need more violent gay people that other people are afraid of, in the same way that trans people, we need strong trans people, insensitive trans people who have money and aren't ashamed of it. People who are willing to tell you that they are better than you. She's a conservative gal. She did an interview with Sean Hannity in her airplane hangar. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. A great spectacle of political theater. Okay? Now, Miss Lightfoot, who we love, is not at this level yet. Hopefully she will get there. But Caitlyn is a spectacle, not for her transition, but for all the reasons that I had mentioned. It's a total package. She is, dare I say, the total package. And what I love about Caitlyn is she speaks kind of like Trump off the cuff. Mm-hmm. She has called herself a disruptor. She's a disruptor. She's going to disrupt not only the state of California, which I imagine she'll destroy in 4 to 6 months, but I don't care. It's neither here nor there to me. I want to be entertained from my small house in Texas. It's not that big. But I want to be entertained. I will, of course, be watching it very closely. I imagine Caitlyn won't do anything too much worse than Gavin Newsom, although she might. I don't know. But I think California should have a Caitlyn Jenner. They had an Arnold Schwarzenegger. They should have a Caitlyn Jenner. And as you listen to me, you're kind of agreeing with me here. She's not going to go too far to the right because she's trans and she gets it. But she's not going to go too far to the left because she's a multimillionaire Olympian who's killed people. That's the difference. I know that she killed them on accident. But here's what I like about Caitlyn, and this is what I think a chief executive needs, and the governor of the state is an executive. Look at Caitlyn Jenner. Listen to her talk. Do you think she spends 1 minute of her day thinking about the people she killed? Do you think when she's ordering, I don't know, huevos rancheros out there at the club, do you think she's sidelined, even for a minute, thinking about the 2 lives she ended in Malibu? No. Much like George H.W. Bush, who probably didn't think too much about his partner when that plane went down years ago. Go to the archives. I think Caitlyn has shown tremendous strength in being able to kind of just go on about her day-to-day life without thinking too much. And who are the people, by the way, that she killed? Do we know?
Let me look it up.
Because I know that...
See if it's public.
I know it was an accident. When I say murderer, I'm kidding. I don't think she did it intentionally. I'm just saying I don't think it keeps her up at night, which I think is important. She's going to be making big decisions and running a state. She can't always be guilt-ridden, stricken with feelings of despair. Oh, God. It's the fucking... Hello? How are you? Good. We can't, unfortunately. Well, what time does it become available? Okay. What's the temperature like down there? What time is it now, Ben?
It's 1:51 p.m.
No, sorry, buddy. We appreciate it. Thank you. One of the cabanas became open. We were on a wait list. See, but we can't do it now. We're in the middle of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just leave here and go to a cabana. But it's the high 60s grazing the 70s. We can go in the pool, though.
Yeah.
See, this is what I think Caitlyn Jenner thinks about. Instead of the two people that she left dead on the side of the road. Do you understand? And why shouldn't she? Yes, there are problems. But Caitlyn understands that problems aren't real if you can't see them. Who did she kill, Ben?
Okay, so the local sheriff's department determined she was driving her Escalade at an unsafe speed when she rear-ended 69-year-old widow Kim Ho's Lexus, pushing her into oncoming traffic. Ho died after crashing head-on into the Wolf Molessis. So
only one person died?
So the Wolf Molessi family sued Jenner over the crash, and in their court papers listed extensive injuries. Their two sons, one was only a month old, and Wolf Molessi's mother, Elga Maurer. So they had cervical spine fractures.
Wait a minute. She killed a 1-month-old?
No.
Okay.
The 1-month-old was injured. And
Jesus.
also, it looks like the mother had a cervical spine fracture, according to the lawsuit.
They sound like frauds. They sound like frauds. I mean, I got to be honest. So only one person died?
It seems that one person, and she agreed to pay out $800,000 to the family.
Oh, enough! Enough!
Mm-hmm.
She can rear-end me. Push me in oncoming traffic. It is sad that the 1-month-old was injured. Is he fine now?
Yeah, immediately was fine, but wasn't responding to stimuli at the scene of the crash, went to the hospital, and was totally fine.
She almost killed a baby. Whatever. It's the cancel culture I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest problem is the cancel culture. I don't like the cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
And to cancel her because she almost killed a baby to me is unconscionable.
And killed a widow, just one widow.
Who's what? 69?
69.
How much more do you got?
Mm.
How many gold medals did that widow win? I don't understand you people not getting what I'm saying here. We need this woman, and we need her now. It is sad. I'm happy the baby's okay. Had the baby died, it only would have proven my point more. Do you think that would have sidelined her campaign if she killed a 1-month-old? I don't think so. That's what I like about Caitlyn. I think if Caitlyn had killed a 1-month-old baby, she still wouldn't really... She might think about it occasionally. But Caitlyn knows. She knows. Can we play her clip?
Yeah, I got it right
on
here.
the homeless?
Yeah.
Because this is our next governor in California, and I don't live here. Don't fuck with me, IRS. I do not live here. This is a clip of our next governor or the next governor of California speaking about the homeless.
California. My friends are leaving California. Actually, were my hangar. The guy across right over from me, he was packing up his hangar. I said, "Where are you going?" And he says, "I'm moving to Sedona, Arizona. I can't take it here anymore. I can't walk down the streets and see the homeless. I don't want to leave. Okay, either I stay and fight or I get out of here."
She's going to fight the homeless. This is such an important point of her campaign. Listen to the wording. Her friend from across the street, probably a guidance counselor or something, public school teacher, I imagine, bus driver. Caitlyn is speaking to her friend, and he's saying, "I can't do it anymore. I can't look at the homeless." Caitlyn's response is then, "I don't want to leave. I want to fight." She's going to fight the homeless. She might start going on midnight raids in that Escalade. What if Caitlyn Jenner in her Escalade was just mowing over tent cities for the betterment of California? Do you understand that? Driving at an unsafe speed with reckless abandon, mowing over tent cities, mowing over the homeless for you, the citizen. Do you get it? Don't you get it? This woman is trying to save you. She's just said she will stay in the state and fight the homeless for you. Presumably you don't want to do it, but she will. Can you play the clip? I don't know if you have it queued up. I know that you're concerned mainly about the PGA Golf Championship. That's what you spent most of your time on, and showing everyone your new shirt that your wife bought. What does your wife do the month of your birthday?
She gets me a present every week leading up to my birthday.
Is one of those presents anal? What now? Why does she do this? She treats it like Hanukkah.
Is that Hanukkah?
They get a present every day for 8 days.
Oh, yeah. So I guess she does like a different version of that, yeah.
Now, does she get you a big present at the end, or do you just get a present every week?
No, it's just kind of the same big present every week.
What have you gotten? Now, your birthday is when?
June 25th.
Are we even in the month of June?
No, she started early because she didn't want to wait. She gets too excited.
Now, is this the first gift you've gotten?
I've got two gifts. This and then my new travel bag I have with my initials on it.
Wow. And then the gifts will continue until June 25th when it's your birthday. Your gift from me is your continued employment, which is subject to constant review. Constant review, because quite frankly, I don't know. Can you play the clip of the Jenner interview where she speaks about the police?
Yeah, let me find that.
Because this is the only time in the interview where Caitlyn lied, and I have to call her out because I respect her. She lied. She said every time she sees the cops, she pulls next to them and says, "Thank you for your service." Can you imagine how startled you would be as a police officer if Caitlyn Jenner just pulled up and was like, "Thank you for your service, boys," and then kept going, which she does not do. You can tell she's lying here. You can tell she's being honest when she says, "My friends hate looking at the homeless." That's true. But when she says something like, hey man, I just pull over every time I see a cop and I say thank you, we know that's not the case. She says thank you to maybe the security guard in her gated community, but guess what? Even that, no. Caitlyn speaks to very few people. Is what I like about Caitlyn. She has a few friends she speaks to, and she has a lot of employees that she barks at. But she doesn't, like you probably say, that, everyone on the Instagram is like, treat Ben better. I mean, what? Do you have this up with Caitlyn?
Okay, Fox News says Caitlyn Jenner, "I'm 100% behind our police force," and they have a clip here.
Yes,
this is probably it, right?
Let's see if this is it. I don't know if it is, but
right, we're here tonight in Southern California for our exclusive interview with Caitlyn Jenner, running to be the next governor of the great state of California to replace Gavin Newsom. Let me just ask you about law and order. You watched the riots this summer. Some Democrats, media people wouldn't acknowledge their riots. I have statistics in L.A., 465 shootings since January 1st, up 67% from last year. Homicides up 26%. When you look at LA County and
How many
outside the
car
city of
accidents?
Los Angeles, well,
Does he
homicides
do any?
up a
Does he do
whopping
any of that?
13%. And Gavin Newsom is going to release 76,000
How many hit and runs?
additional inmates for good behavior. 63,000 of them committed violent crimes. Would you do that?
Not at all. I think on the releasing of the prisoners, criminal justice reform is very important. And we need to do that, okay? We need to rehabilitate people in prison and bring them back into the community safely.
Wow, Caitlyn.
In his case, I don't know how many of these people have actually been rehabilitated to go back into society. And so I am 100% behind our police force. Every place I go. If I see a cop,
Here's a lie.
if I'm driving and I see a cop, I'll put my hand out the window and give them a thumbs up. If they're sitting there, I'll pull up and say, hey, thank you for your service. You know, this citizen appreciates what you do. I 100% support our police forces.
She's lying.
As far as I would be
What a great pause.
very tough on riding,
She's like, what am I supposed to say?
using as many forces as I could possibly use to stop the rioting, protect the citizens and the businesses of this community. I think that's extremely important. The National Guard, whatever we need to keep peace.
The Marines.
What is the police
The National Guard, the Marines, the Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Delta Force, direct energy weapons. How great if she just kept going. I would use direct energy weapons, Sean. You know, electronic pulses, things like that. You know, any type of thing that we had. Radiation, tear gas, you know, cluster bombs. Anything, Sean. Anything to stop the riots. Any forces that I could get my hands on. Mm-hmm. Anything. We'll do anything, Sean. We'll never stop. Throw a brick through the window of Balenciaga. We'll use a direct energy weapon. I'll tell you right now, any force, Sean, at my disposal, and I mean anything. I mean, I've got friends, when we go to dinner, Sean, they've got weapons you've never heard of. Me and you have never heard of them. But I'm talking about some real interesting stuff, you know? There's things you can do to people with magnets. You wouldn't imagine, Sean. I mean, the things you can do to people with sound. Do you know this now, Sean? Sound. You can pulsate energy waves through the air that just knock people down. They knock people right on their ass. Any and all weapons at my disposal. I'm talking right now with Lori Lightfoot. And we're talking about, well, I'm just saying we're supporting Caitlyn. Mm-hmm. That's all. That's what I'm saying. We're moving on from that now. But I'm saying we're supporting Caitlyn Jenner. Because as the logo of Bravo says, watch what happens, you know? Mm-hmm. And I know Jimmy Kimmel shit on her. Jimmy Kimmel's like, is it transphobic to call her an a-hole? She's disconnected. It's like, hey, Jimmy, the joke bombed. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. Stop. She's funnier than you. It's horrible. Stop crying on TV. Stop pretending like you have any fucking clue about how to fix the state or that you give a shit about the homeless. You make like $25 million a year. Can you stop, please? This is embarrassing now. You're in bed. You did a show called The Man Show. You talked about beer and tits. You know, this is embarrassing. You're somehow a statesman now. Mm-hmm. Well, you and Chelsea Handler going to go on a tour, and you know, this is embarrassing. Chelsea Handler, by the way, hopefully she's better. She got the Moderna shot and went deaf in one ear. Mm-hmm. We're sorry to hear that. We hope Chelsea gets better. We want her hearing out of both ears so I can tell her that she's a cunt. But Jimmy Kimmel going after our next governor. Not our. I don't live here. There. In the royal sense. I live in Texas. I can prove it. I don't have to like Austin to enjoy where I live in Texas, which is a very pretty area. It's very quiet. People have the guts to say things over coffee like Trump was too liberal. But I mean, we're getting a little sick of this act with Jimmy Kimmel. Can you play the Jimmy Kimmel joke, please? It just bombs horribly. Is it transphobic to call someone a a-hole, or is it not transphobic because we're not discriminating against a-holes? God, Christ Almighty, is it bad? I want to go swimming later. I want to inflict my body on other people. It's nice to stay at a nice hotel and inflict yourself on others. It makes them understand that no matter how much money they spend, they can't really get away from the problems. Go on.
I got it right here.
Yeah, please. Listen to this tidbit of comedy.
This is how well Caitlyn Jenner understands the plight of everyday Californians here in L.A.
Kimmel then showed a clip from her Fox News interview where Jenner opened up about how her friends are, quote, leaving California.
Actually, were at my hangar. The guy across right over from me, he was packing up his hangar. I said, where are you going? And he says, I'm moving to Sedona, Arizona.
Sedona's
I can't take
beautiful.
it anymore. I can't walk down the streets and see the homeless.
Here was Kimmel's response.
Homeless people can't walk around them, can't fly over them, you know?
The late night host went on to say this.
Is it transphobic to call a trans person an ignorant a-hole? I mean, or does calling that trans person an ignorant a-hole, even though she happens to be a trans person, show that we don't discriminate against ignorant a-holes?
For the full late night segment, go to
That's great.
THR.com.
By the way, I love how they get out of there before the audience doesn't laugh. What a horrible joke. Just it's wordy and
bombing.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's bad, huh? No. And the other thing is, like, I don't know where does Jimmy Kimmel live? Like, just general area.
Like Mulholland Drive, like Hollywood Hills.
Do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Whitney told us where he lives.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of homeless people up there, right, with him?
Matt Damon's up there.
Yeah. That's my understanding, right? It's just Jimmy and the homeless singing Kumbaya. Because Caitlyn doesn't understand the needs of everyday Californians, but Jimmy Kimmel does. He understands the needs of everyday Californians. Okay. Whatever.